Oh, hey there. Welcome to the Nostalgiceum, where looking back at the past is a great way to spend the present. I am your host, Nostalgic Travis, and today I wanted to talk about movies from the 80s, and in particular, movies that I watched as a kid that have really tragic events in them. Now, I know that's kind of a mouthful, and I originally thought that I'd talk about kids' movies from the 80s, but upon further review, some of the movies that I watched as a kid that I thought were kids' movies were not actually all age appropriate. I didn't have too many restrictions on the movies that I watched. Um, Basically, the only rule that I had was don't watch R-rated movies, and that was not even an absolute rule in and of itself. So without further ado, here are movies that I watched as a kid in the 80s that have really tragic events in them. Now, the first movie is Gremlins. Now, Gremlins, I didn't think was that scary of a movie. And as a matter of fact, I had a stuffed animal gizmo when I was a kid, and there was a toy line associated with it. Um, Now, we all know the rules of Gremlins. Don't let them in the sunlight because they'll melt. Don't get them wet because they'll multiply. And whatever you do, don't feed them after midnight because they'll turn into mean, nasty little critters that'll destroy the town. And with movies and rules, we also know all those rules are probably going to be broken, which is what happened. And the gremlins started destroying the town, which, as I said, in and of itself, wasn't that scary. But there was a really tragic moment in that movie, which was the Phoebe Cates character, named Kate, was talking about why she doesn't like Christmas. And she said her dad disappeared on Christmas Eve and nobody knew what happened to him. And then later on, they noticed a really, really bad smell coming from the chimney. And when they took that chimney apart, they found the dad dead in a Santa suit. Apparently, he decided he was going to play Santa that Christmas, and he tragically died. Now, I loved Christmas as a kid, and I really couldn't imagine not liking Christmas, except if that actually happened to me, that happened to the Phoebe Cates' character, I think I would also hate Christmas. The next movie is The Land Before Time. Now, The Land Before Time is a movie about a group of young, really adorable sounding dinosaurs as they travel to the Great Valley for a better life. Now, the tragic part about this movie actually happened in the opening act. The leader of the young group of dinosaurs is a brachiosaurus or apatosaurus named Littlefoot. And he watches his mom die after a Tyrannosaurus Rex attacks their herd. Now, thinking about a parent dying when you're a child is completely devastating. Now, Don Bluth is a master of evoking emotions. He made a career out of it in the 80s, making cartoons with a lot of sad moments, like The Secret of Nim, An American Tail, of course, Land for a Time. You may question why I didn't add All Dogs Go to Heaven, is because I didn't actually watch that movie. But based on the title, I'm sure there's a lot of tragedy in that movie. The last movie on my list, I'm pretty sure has a scene that scarred every single member of Generation X. And that movie, of course, is The Never Ending Story. Now, The Never Ending Story is a movie about a boy who finds a book and is reading the book, which is the plot of the movie, and which is the magical kingdom of Fantasia is slowly being eaten away by something called the Nothing. The only person who can stop the Nothing is the childlike empress, but sadly she is ill and cannot help the kingdom. So it is tasked to a boy named Atreyu and his trusty steed Artax to find a cure for the childlike princess. Now, on their travels, they must go through the Swamps of Sadness. And the Swamps of Sadness is a very terrible place indeed, which can cause a person just to become so sad that they just want to just die and give up. And so that sadly happens to Artax, and we have to watch him slowly sink under the surface of the swamp and die. Now, the end of the Neverending Story has the original boy who's reading the book, Bastian, can make all these wishes to make Fantasia the magical kingdom that it once was. And so one of those wishes, of course, was to bring Artax back to life. And we do see a scene of Atreyu and Artax riding in a meadow, but really that does not take away from the fact that we had to watch Artax die in the first place. So there you have it. A list of movies that I watched as a kid that have very tragic moments in them. While not necessarily all kids movies, I did watch them as a kid. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, and we'll see you next time. So long.